Hey, welcome everybody to my chess stream here on lichess and Twitch. Intro National Master Will Paschall. We are otherwise known as Sladgy on Twitch. Our account on lichess is Sparkle Horse, but we're not a brony. Anyways, yesterday was Thanksgiving, an American holiday I celebrated here in Hungary, in my own personal way. So we were off, no stream yesterday. We were back here, normal schedule, Friday, Sunday. We're going to do a simul on Sunday. The simul's a little tricky this week because I am going pretty far away from Budapest during the day. So I'm hoping that I'm getting back in time to do a simul on Sunday. But my round doesn't start till like 11. So it could be kind of touch and go. If the games are really long, we'll be back around 4. Actually, we'll be leaving around 4, home around 6. It'll be close. I'm going to set the time for the Sunday simul at 7 o'clock instead of the usual 6:30. So there's still a chance I could be late. Hopefully not. I'll let you guys know, on my stream feed or whatever. But the plan is to do the next stream simul Sunday 7 p.m. CET. Usually it's at 6:30. We're going to try to make it by 7. All right. I may be a little tired. It'll be like a 30-30 simul, 20 players. I'll probably have been, fresh out of like a 2-hour car drive or something, but we'll try to do it anyways, rather than canceling the stream. Already canceled one stream this week, so let's try to go for the Sunday simul. Then the schedule will be back to normal next week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah, that's right, Soltigo. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm doing morning streams, and then Tuesday, Thursday is usually 7 p.m. CET and Sunday simuls, usually at 6:30, but this Sunday it will be 7. All right, let's get started here. We're just playing some blitz and classical. I don't know, what is it? We're not doing 8+3 anymore, so where's the cutoff with the classical anyway? Is it like 7 minutes? Actually, I never really thought about it. I just kind of lumped them into the same thing. Troll and a Roll, Chess 960 will take this challenge first. He is a subscriber somehow. Arsenal fan Rich has a hangover. Well, that typical morning after Thanksgiving hangover. It's usually like a food coma. I never really thought about it, Rich. Oh man, Arsenal lost yesterday, right? To Cologne or something? You must be bumming after that. So we're playing Troll and a Roll here in Chess 960. I'm willing to do up to 2 Chess 960 games per stream, usually. 5 + 5 is the lowest classical time. Wow. So anything, so the 5+3 and the 5+4 are only technical blitz challenges. Okay. Looks like Troll kind of like challenged me and then he left the building. Alright, what was I going to say? Do you guys really Thanksgiving? Yeah, there's no Thanksgiving in the UK. It's a stupid question. Alright, never mind. Never mind. Alright. Yeah, they have Thanksgiving in the UK. I don't know. I didn't wake up yet. Alright. Troll and a Roll is not here. I'm impressed you heard. Gloss over the fact you mentioned about the embarrassing loss. Not the Derby win at the weekend. Alright, I just see the things I see on BBC News and then regurgitate them. Alright, Troll and Roll is not here. Hopefully he'll re-challenge me at some point, but I'm not going to wait forever. So, this is boring. We're going to bail in this game. Hopefully he comes back soon. Got to play the ever-tough world loser who is challenging me to blitz 5+3. He's a monster. He won our blitz, actually classical tournament on Tuesday, 7+2. You don't expect the world loser to dominate in 7+2, but he did. I was too slow on Tuesday. All right, dude. Good luck. What are we gonna do with this game? I don't have to play weird openings. Maybe Troll's back now. He's back. It's too late, Troll. You lost your place. I'm just gonna play G3. Try to play super solid against the ultra fast world loser. We've definitely, well, I'm surprised to see him play c5, though he is a d4 player. He can definitely do that. He's probably, I was expecting g6 there. So we can transpose to a Grunfeld reversed. Sorry, troll. You're a little late. I waited, but I didn't know if you were coming back. People were getting antsy here. Looking at the board with no pieces moving. Troll is repeating my game with this guy from 2 weeks ago. But it is interesting to take with the pawn on d5 instead. I'm still not that down with that, to be honest. You can play c takes d there. I don't know why, I just don't really like this line. C takes d, knight takes d5. It's supposed to be better for white, though. Ah, so Troll is repeating a game we had earlier. I'm pretty sure I'm really required to take queen takes queen here. Required. If I play rook d1 check, well, I guess he could do various things. Last time I think I played knight to d2. He probably fed the pawn back to me. We got very good play after that, though. I kind of like this. He apparently likes it too. You know, I could decline the pawn sacrifice and just play knight c4 as well to get a really good bishop on b2. I mean, I like that. Still don't understand why World Loser has to move so fast. He doesn't like to think for some reason. Thinking is good for you, World Loser. It makes you play better moves. All right. You know, there's this title tournament on lichess, and I'm gonna bitch about it. Not because I really have a right to bitch about it, but I'm not actually bitching about the title tournament. Like, that's fine, dude. I totally respect that some people decided to organize this title tournament, and that's great, you know. I mean, kudos to them, you know, for taking the initiative to do something. But why do people not care about playing something other than bullet chess? It's kind of scary. I don't know, you know. I mean, it's just like throughout the chess world. Like, I noticed like the recent Romanian Open. It's not fast enough to have like 90 minutes for 40 moves and then like 30 minutes for the rest of the game. Some tournaments have like 90 minutes for 40 moves and 15 minutes for the rest of the game. Like, just forget about endgames, you know? Let's just throw them in the trash and not play endgames. Let's just play garbage chess, you know, and destroy chess completely. Too much of the time control is just getting faster and faster so that the games become kind of garbage. This is my new campaign. I'm campaigning against things that make chess stupid, you know. Maurice Ashley and making 15-minute games and 10-minute games and 5-minute games the focus of you know, the chess media. I think that's stupid. I think that 1-minute chess is stupid. And I think that making long time controls faster and faster to the point where they're like ridiculous is stupid. Alright. I'm just going to play bishop d2. But anyway, I ranted. That was my rant. Let's have, like, you want to have a title tournament, make it like 3-minute or something, you know, something like a compromise. It doesn't have to be blitz, but something that people can, you know, maybe play a decent game. I don't know what the deal is with the 1-minute chess. It's sort of ridiculous, you know. It's just about like clicking your mouse. I mean, that doesn't make you a good chess player. All right, the rant is over now. b5, man. Black is weakening himself. The king's wide open, but it's still hard to put him away. Knight e5, f6, knight d3. Could even play c4 there. Oh, that's crazy. Knight e5, f6, knight d3, and then it's hard to enforce c4, but I could play something else like e4. Lots of good choices. I'm afraid knight e3 is just like too equal. Some animals are more equal than others. There is bishop f4 check, actually, but I'm afraid it doesn't do anything. Might win a pawn, though. Not really, though. Giving up my bishop. Let's see. Take. Actually, might be pretty good. Alright, let's try something. Actually, he'll probably just move his king. I don't know. Alright, I'm lost. Anyway, guys, I'm ranting about ridiculously fast time controls. Now c4 is interesting. Alright. Is this even good? I don't know, man. Alright, I'm just going to keep the pieces on the board and try to make it more complicated. We've got a huge development lead with 4 minutes to our 1 minute. Rook b8. Interesting. Wow, that's a kind of cool move. I'm sure that I'm not worse, but I'm not sure that I'm that much better. c4 takes rook c1. See, this is what I'm talking about. Alright, World Loser rarely like drops pieces for nothing. It is early in the morning, but not to say I told you so, but we've got to stop playing too fast. Sazed Chess, what's up? Hey, Yellow Dragoon, get a challenge in while you can, man. It's nobody, like almost nobody waiting to play. So good to see you, man. Did I ask you this? I didn't see the answer. I mean, sometimes I miss, like, obviously miss comments when people are, when I'm playing an intense game or something. I asked the question yesterday, not yesterday, but 2 days ago about something, and then I was watching the stream, which I rarely have time to watch my whole streams, obviously. I was watching the stream, realized I missed some good questions. So I missed some answers to some questions that I asked. It's hard. World Loser. World Loser's just trying to prove my argument. He's a good friend. Anyway, like, title tournaments, if they really want to do this on lichess, why don't they have more than one, like, you know, time control? Like 3 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, and, you know, instead of like half a minute and 1 minute. It should be called like bullet title tournaments or something. Anyways. Alright, World Loser resigned. Troll in a roll. And then I'm going to play whoever else challenges me. Like, maybe Yellow Dragoon will get in a challenge. Maybe he doesn't have time to play. I don't know. Chess 960, 6 plus 5. Let's just open randomly here with e4. Of course, you can challenge me, Yellow Dragoon. I'll get it in there between these subscriber challenges. You are a former subscriber. And a strong player, and I like to play the Masters when I get a chance. So I'm not trying to duck like strong players here. I mean, anybody over 2200 is really quite a strong player for lichess. You did challenge me. Awesome. I didn't see it. All right. So anyway, I was bitching about the lichess title tournament being bullet, but another thing is bothering me, like this tendency of long tournaments to go to now, like, so it's already like really fast, like 90 minutes and 40 moves, and then no time for end games. You know, it's like you got to play the whole end game in 30 minutes. But I've noticed quite a few tournaments recently doing this 90 minutes for 40 moves and 15 minutes for the rest of the game. I think that's just like an abomination. I mean, you might as well just, like, you know, entirely destroy the game of chess. Like, we'll just try to play end games in 15 minutes. I mean, that's really ridiculous. I won't go to a tournament, dude, if the time control is 15 minutes for the second time control. It's already enough, you know. I mean, I guess this whole idea of making the games faster started with trying to, like, popularize chess, so Maurice could like, you know, commentate on ESPN or something. But you know, I mean, 4 or 5 hours for a long game. 5 hours for a long game is not that long. I played at 7 and 8 hour games. It's short enough if we make it like 40 and 90, and then the rest of the game in 30 minutes. Why do they have to shave off another 15 minutes from an already like too fast time control? All right, troll. It's a Sicilian, but it's not. It's no bishop e5 check like we'd have in the normal weird Sicilian here. So we've got to move our knight. F5, heading back to E3. This is kind of cool though. I've got bishop G4 check actually. However, that may or may not be a good move because of knight F6 coming. But I think it's probably... yeah, it's probably not worth it to go there. I should just go to F5 attacking the D6 pawn. You found out you were in a chess magazine recently. Wow, that's crazy. It's been a long time for me. A couple of years at least. Knight E6. Man, you guys are blundering today. World Loser dropped a piece, and Troll in a Roll is like dropping his central pawn on D6 with check. It's early in the morning, and that's one disadvantage of the morning stream. A lot of people just don't wake up. Did I miss some kind of trick or something? Oh my god. I'm gonna actually like clip this and like put it in there as a comedy thing. I thought I had a queen on D1. Alright, I resign. I'm embarrassed now. I thought it was normal chess. Holy crap. That's embarrassing. Alright, next game. Let's just forget about it. I'm gonna play Yellow Dragoon. Wow. Okay, I thought that was my queen on D1. Anyway, that's what happens in Chess 960 sometimes. As I was saying, like, people don't wake up in time, like myself. Hopefully this is a little better. Sorry, Troll. If you want to re-challenge me, Troll, like, I'm totally down with that. That's fine. So we can play a second game later. I don't really want to count that as a game for you. Alright. What are we going to do? Yellow Dragoon really knows, you know, the opening theory pretty well. But anyway, just play what we know. Sorry, guys. I was, like... thinking that we're playing with the queen on D1. I don't know why. I didn't even really check it, obviously. I realized it was Chess 960, but I still thought my queen was on D1. Strange hallucination. Alright. Now, their usual move is E6 here, but I could also play A6, I think. I've considered both. I actually played this line a couple of times myself, Yellow Dragoon. So a little bit of comedy here in the first couple games. World Loser playing too fast, and then me having a hallucination. Yeah, make some tea and come back, man. I'm sorry about that. That was weird. I was wondering why you were weakening your D6 pawns so much. You know, I should have put 2 and 2 together and realized that I don't have a queen on D1. Dangerous stuff, this Chess 960. So Yellow Dragoon, this line, well, this was really trendy like 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I actually, for some reason, I've done badly with both colors. The few games that I've played in this line, you can play Knight F3 or Knight E2. I lost to Amon Simatowe once with, where is he from, like Zambia, like this Grandmaster from Zambia. Knight E2. And then Knight F6 and Knight E7, I guess you can play either or of these two moves. Against Simatowe, I probably played Knight F3, and he played Knight E7. But Knight F6 is also possible, and I don't really know which one is like better. And A6 may even be a move. I'm not sure about it. Queen C7. I guess Knight F6 is a main line too. The internet is really bad there. Where are you? You're not in your usual place. Alright, Are you at the tournament, at a tournament? Like, you're not playing in the World, you didn't play in the World Junior, did you? That's the question that I didn't know if you answered before. All right. Castles. So this is this position where there's some kind of trap, I think. If I play d5, take, knight takes d4. What is the trap I'm thinking of, though? Anyway, I'm wasting too much time. There's some kind of trap that white has, and I forget exactly how it works. I think I've actually had this position with white once. Ironian against somebody. Bishop g5 was played here. I think I drew a game with white against like a USCF 2300 player. Just didn't feel like I could get anything. Maybe I won it, but I didn't like my position. I don't remember. It's too long ago. So basically about 18, 17 years ago, I discovered this line. I don't remember. I think I saw Strapunski play it first. Then there were some high-level games in the early 2000s. And then I don't know, it's probably faded out of popularity by now, I guess. f4. So as I said, I think bishop g5 is a move. But f4 makes total sense strategically. Might even be the main move, I'm not sure. I haven't committed myself to castling kingside, you know, so if he does anything funky with knight g3, I can rush my h-pawn down, probably, make his life a little awkward. It's kind of like a hedgehog formation for black, and I like the fact that I haven't committed myself to castling yet. I mean, f5 looks normal. I don't know why. I was planning on playing bishop e5 or something. e5 and bishop e7. Not sure if I like this though. Let's see, like f5, e5, bishop g5, bishop e7, knight g3. I might have stuff like knight takes e4 there. Although every time I do that combination, it doesn't work. It seems like. Positionally, I'm not sure if I like playing e5. But my queen side's pretty opened up too. So as far as castling on the other side, I'm not sure I like that either. Seems like the safest thing to do here. Glorious Bobby. Black ahead here, it looks like, no. I think this is all normal. It's actually not something I want to do, particularly crazy about playing e5. I don't think black's ahead. I think it's all like known. As I said, Ironian had played some games with this line with white 15 years ago. I don't know where it stands now. I haven't seen it. It's not a trendy variation anymore. I would imagine that black would be somewhat solid here. Wow, he took right away. Maybe bishop h4 actually. Wouldn't mind trading that off. No, my bishop is a good defender, though. Really big question where to put my king. Well, it's blitz. It's not a long game. I've got to stop annotating and commentating and pretending like this is a long game. Dude. I didn't see that, obviously. Knight knight g7. What the hell is going on? Oh, I see. No, I don't see. I just hope I'm not lost here. Oh, I get it. He's just like winning a pawn or something. Excuse me. He's basically winning a pawn. I don't know what the best way to do this is. Maybe this way. It's amazing how well worked out. I mean, he saw knight g7 so quickly. Wow. I realized the danger just too late. And now he's winning a pawn at least, but let's see if we can make it difficult for him practically. He's up 2 pawns now. Looks hopeless. Oh, I think this is just lost for me. It's got to be lost. I mean, he just has these dangerous connected pass pawns. You think it was rather an intuitive thing. Wow. I don't think so, dude. I don't know, man. Everything was too tight, you know, the way it worked. Let's try breaking free here. It's a little bit slow, but is there any sort of cheapo? That looks good. Wow, dude, good game. He's beaten me the last 3 times in a row. I haven't won a game since 8 games ago against him. That's pretty impressive. Let's check the thing if we missed anything here with the computer. It's all theory. Although f4 isn't the main line. As I mentioned, bishop g5 is the main line. This e5 was only played once before. I was expecting bishop g5. He did play that. So we have exactly a Gawain Jones versus Justin Sarkar 2007, which he's following move for move. The exact same game. Fell into the same exact trap. I understand. Okay. But he actually innovated here with... Whoa. He innovated with queen g4. So he plays as well as Gawain Jones, but he improves over the board in a 5-minute game with the best move. Better than Gawain Jones in a tournament game. Queen g4. This is my only move, yeah. So that's pretty impressive, dude. Just a bit of luck. But the more impressive is that you found the improvement queen g4 over the board. Because Jones only played queen f3. Does he mention that in his book, queen g4? Because you played the move like instantly. I'm curious, like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could find it. Queen g4 is pretty tough, but there's only a couple moves there, really. I assume that you knew the whole thing cold. Alright, let's go on to the next game. We're going to play Soltigo. Kustav is not a subscriber. He's challenged me to 3-0. Kustav, I don't play 3-0 here on my stream. Sorry. And, alright. So Soltigo, Troll in a Roll. I'm going to take Troll in a Roll next. And then, yeah, Jones is very deep preparation. The guy, he seems to know some scary variations that are like 30 moves deep in some lines. So I would definitely be concerned playing him in his preparation. I didn't think that, I didn't suspect that our opponent was booked up there because he played open Sicilians before. This Yellow Dragoon, he always played the open variations. I didn't expect a theoretical. Queen f3 is a mistake. Apparently you played the stockfish move queen g4, which is clearly best. But that was not played in the Jones game. I think he played a perfect game. Easy to do, I guess. Alright, Troll in a Roll. My favorite time control. Here in my stream I play between 5+3 and 8 and 7+3. It used to be 8+3, but I changed it to 7+3. You never did answer the question whether you played in the World Junior Championship, Yellow Dragoon, did you? I didn't see. I didn't see. And why you have bad internet? C3. This is another Sicilian-like position. My first game against Troll in a Roll, I lost because I hallucinated my queen was on a normal chess starting square. Who are these challenges from? Soltigo, Resignanian. Kustav, is this a new account or something established? Okay. Relatively new, but established. As long as you have like 100 games, I don't mind playing. I do take the subscribers first. I made an exception for the Yellow Dragoon. He is a former subscriber. You know, and I will play Masters if I get the chance. I'm pretending it's like a dragon or something here. This is pretty weird. But my queen is blocked in on g8, so This keeps his knight off of f5, and I can play a... This is really weird as it seems, a fianchetto of my queen on g7. Maybe I've just played too many accelerated dragons, I don't know, but I want to put my queen on g7. This is like a structure that I feel comfortable with. The perfect games don't happen very often. I mean, I don't really, hope to see too many of those. If it's someone under 2200, I'm obviously going to be very suspicious. But sometimes if they're like 15-move games and nothing happens, that's normal, I mean, if or whatever, if there's some kind of games where like no tactics happen, it's a symmetrical structure, and everybody changes pieces down the C file or something, even like a 1900 player can play a 0-0-0 game. But when there's like tactics involved and stuff like that, I would be highly suspicious. Basically, no human should play a perfect game without, even a small inaccuracy if the game is longer than like 30 moves or so. Occasionally in under 20 moves, pretty much anybody can play a so-called perfect game. But this is like a matter of opening preparation, I guess. The game with the Yellow Dragoon, if it was longer, he would make some inaccuracies, but he just had memorized the opening and he played one improvement, and that was it. There was nothing else to do. Basically, the game was decided on move like 12 or move 14. It's not really perfect. I mean, there are really small mistakes that are not really considered mistakes by Stockfish or whatever. I mean, I think that there could be another subcategory of mistakes, like tiny inaccuracies or something, but it's just very small to measure that. Yeah, I would normally resign if I lost the exchange for nothing. I mean, the ending there was lost no matter what I did. I just played on, hoping that he could make some kind of mistake, but it was just too easy for white. I mean, but that variation is good to think about. I didn't like my move bishop. I didn't like my move e5, but I don't know if I like the whole variation for black, to be honest. Jones has been playing those close Sicilian Grand Prix attack type things for a long time. That game was from 2007. But Yellow Dragoon didn't answer if Queen G4 was mentioned in Jones's book or not. I'm curious. That looks like a massive improvement over the move he played against Sarkar in 2007. I mean, Queen F3, according to the engine, is only like a slight advantage to white. I mean, Queen G4 is like winning by force, but Queen F3 is like slight edge to white. So there's a pretty massive difference between those two continuations. I mean, basically, Queen F3 is like a blunder. I mean, the difference between the advantages for white are like 1.6 or like 0.7. So Jones allowed Sarkar absolute chances by playing Queen F3, whereas Yellow Dragoon didn't give me any chances. After Queen G4, I'm just totally lost. Now 1.6 is more than the exchange. It's he did answer. He did answer. Well, it wasn't clear that he answered. He said, yeah, it's in his book. Queen F3 question mark was a mistake. But it's really hard to Sleepy Mario, it's really hard to read the context of those comments, I don't think in a court of law it would hold up that he concretely answered. You can interpret his statement there as an answer of yes, it was in the book, but that's not that clear to me. He's making two different statements. Like one of them says I don't know, guys. I mean, that, if you want to argue about it, I don't think he's clearly answering my question or not. Maybe he was, but that's the way you perceive it. But he said, yeah, it's in his book. And then the next statement is, Queen F3 question mark was a mistake. But these are different statements, and they're not actually the same sentence, and it doesn't comprehensively answer the question to me. What's Troll doing? He disconnected? I just want to get a confirmation. I'd feel better if if he didn't find this move so quickly. All right, Bishop A4, A6. I'd like to know the yellow dragoon is beating me just with opening preparation. I feel better that way. Queen F3. All right, but the wording of the answers there isn't clear to me. That's what he's saying. He's making two separate statements. One says the thing was in the book, and the next says Queen F3 was a mistake. That doesn't tell you definitively. He's saying that it was in the book, the move Queen G4. He needs to say Queen G4 was in the book. You know what I mean? Then we know or understand what he's saying. Troll, what's up, man? Castling, you have Knight G4 here. That looks kind of decent for white. I still don't know. I'm assuming Queen G4 was in the book. Played it like instantly. So Gawain Jones is a really interesting player. Well, he lost really badly. A recent game I saw where he was white in his favorite Scotch against Kramnik and got crushed. How about Knight E5? Or just G5? We're not going to let you play D4 without a fight. Now the queen on G7. Troll in massive trouble on the clock. Do you have some tactics here? Okay, that's not what I was expecting. But that saves the pawn. That's interesting. He has an intermezzo. Okay, I like black's game in any case. I can take on F3, take on C6, and then play Knight E5. Or just move my knight. If I take an F3 though, I get rid of that annoying pawn on D5. He still didn't answer me about the World Junior Championship, did he? Did he answer that too? I didn't understand when he was saying he had bad internet. Maybe he's in a foreign country or something. All right. F5. Bishop H5 check. All right, Troll. It's not that easy to finish you off here. Now castling queenside. Have to touch the rook. This is actually a little risky. Maybe I'm taking a bit too many chances here. Nah. My bishops just protect everything on the A file. I don't think this is not a problem. I don't think that this is not a problem. It's like a double negative. Yeah, it's just really strong attack for black. Can't take with the queen, that loses a piece. Troll just in too much time pressure. Open position. I guess the easiest thing to do here is to not take. Did I blunder? I think I just take back on F5 if you take there. Yeah, it's okay. My idea is to defend here laterally. I was just thinking taking here. Did I miss something? Oh man, another hallucination. Wow. It's the second one today. Fortunately, I could just take here, but I didn't see that. I was hallucinating. I have a connection between my queen and bishop. Calculation not too sharp after Thanksgiving yesterday. All right. It's a lucky thing that I have that, man. That would have been a massive blunder. Because after takes, bishop takes f3, his pieces are hanging. That was not good. All right. Soltigo, Resignanian, and then the rest of... Well, I'll take subscribers first, so... I have a lot of strong challengers, though. I'm going to make an exception and take the challenge from Resignanian. I like to play the Masters, but I will guarantee I'm going to play all the subscribers, even if I have to stay here extra long. I want to give these Masters a chance to play, like Yellow Dragoon and Resignanian. It's good for the stream, and it's good for me to get some practice and play some strong players. I think we attract more viewers if we can play some strong players on the stream from time to time. I don't get to do it very often. Alright, Soltigo. What's up with the new system here? That looks pretty odd. Did you try this against me once before? It's like a weird sort of... Well, this is bad for him. I mean, to give me this bishop isn't good. Not the end of the world, but you really shouldn't give me the bishop. In this Cole Kotanowski, you need to play... Coley Kotanowski, you need to play Cole. We argued about how to pronounce that once before. You need to play a3 to stop knight b4. Gladys Troll. Retarded slow opening. Railbird. There's a lot of expats in Hungary and most like capital cities in Europe. So, you know, if you go out and want to find something like celebrating, you know, party, celebrating Thanksgiving and stuff, you probably find them. I just celebrated Thanksgiving cooking at home with my family, and you know, it's kind of very informally. But I mean, Thanksgiving is a purely American holiday. It's not like a worldwide generic holiday like Halloween, you know. So it's not really known here. Actually, I went to the market yesterday, and there was this guy at the meat, you know, counter, where you buy any kind of poultry and meat, and he actually like asked me if I was celebrating Thanksgiving. So a relatively young guy. A lot of people surprisingly know about, you know, the American holiday of Thanksgiving. I was really shocked. He was asking me why you don't buy turkey, because I bought duck to cook for Thanksgiving instead of turkey. Because actually it's kind of hard to find turkey, and I was just surprised. You know, the guy was asking me why are you not cooking turkey, you know. So people know about this holiday. Duck. Rook c1. Soltigo stuck in the center. I like duck, but it's not good when it's frozen. You have to cook it fresh. Actually, well, most meat is like that, isn't it? Fish is the same way. It's not good after it's been frozen. Hey, Lord Ulrich. What's up, guys? I don't seem to have any kind of tactical nuance here to bust White's position. My problem against Yellow Dragoon was the fact that I'm playing theory from like 10 years ago, basically. And I haven't updated my knowledge. Nobody's played that line against me, at least not any good players. As I said, once I had that position with the white pieces, but I didn't know the line. Like, back in those days, it was totally new. Alright, well, we'll just take the pawn. I don't see anything else here. Wonder if my queen could get trapped. Probably not. Wow. Soltico, what are you doing? We're just winning a piece, right? Could my queen get trapped? No. Alright. Played too fast. Alright, I'm going to take this challenge against Nefedov. Actually, I said I would play Resignanian. We'll play him first, then I'll play Nefedov next. I am playing... subscribers and occasional master challengers out of turn, but in the past weeks I haven't had hardly any strong players to compete against in the stream, so it's kind of refreshing. I mean, you guys, a lot of you guys are 2100, but not really too many players over 22. So I don't mean to diss anybody who's under 2200, but it is nice to get to play some masters. All right, let's see. D4 Resignanian. There was a really interesting game in the European Team Championship. I actually played this line with black. There was an interesting game that followed one of my games from Zalakaros in May, where I had a very good position with black in this line. Rajabov against Nepomniachtchi, and Nepomniachtchi sacked a pawn for the bishop pair. It was kind of a known idea. They were following some older game. I don't know if we'll get to that position, but this is really a kind of a trendy line for black if you play d5 here. And I found it to be very resilient. It's an easy all-encompassing system on the black side of the Panov. Resignanian is from Latvia. I have a whole bunch of blitz games against an Estonian player, Olaf Sepp. We had tons of blitz games on ICC in this line, where he actually, okay, I would play. I played a lot of games with knight takes c3, which is the other variation for black here. But e6 I played in Zalakaros. This has been played by Caruana and others. So bishop e5 is the game. Most recently, Rajabov against Nepomniachtchi. Nepomniachtchi lost, but he had a good position at some point. But I think he went a little over the top at some point. You know, kind of like trying for too much to win. Nefedov says, is e4 stronger than g3? Shit, what are we talking about here? Nefedov, which position? Nefedov, which position are you talking about? The game, my game from Zalakaros against the kid, this little kid, was bishop b5. And the Rajabov, there's a lot of theory with both bishop g5 and bishop g5. f6 from Resignanian, I don't think that's normal, but it may be a move. It is an idea, actually. Yeah, what do I want him to play? Yeah, I think f6 is playable. Maybe it's the best move, actually. Queen b6 definitely exists. And bishop e7 definitely is like the main line. I have to double check on f6, though. I mean, it is definitely a normal Panov idea, a normal idea in these kind of lines. For some reason, I'm just wondering, why do people play queen b6 and bishop e7 if f6 is a good move? It looks a little risky so early for black, but I wonder if bishop d2 is even best. Maybe I should play bishop back to e3 here. I'm not sure. I have to look up f6 after the game. I actually intend to play this for black, not so much for white, and I had looked at bishop e7 and queen b6, but f6 seems okay. If I hit the c4 knight again, what's going on here? He just goes submarine style. Knight e7. Seems reasonable for black. I know a lot of people would probably go h4 here, try to attack black, but I'm not sure objectively how dangerous it is. Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I don't want to castle queenside though with a half-open c-file. If anything, I would leave my king like on f1 or g1 and just, you know, throw my h-pawn down the board, but I don't think I really like castling into the c-file. If I want to do some kind of really direct attack. What? What are you guys talking about? Yasser Seirawan? In what context was somebody playing Seirawan? Alright, let's go for it. Only live once. Well, he took on h5 and quickly too. Huh. Like, my inclination would be to either like leave it or play g5, but he took on h5. Interesting. Alright. I'm not sure exactly why he decided so quickly there. Maybe he saw something tactically. I think that's bad for his pawn structure. You might describe g takes h as like a slightly anti-positional move, but it certainly eliminates the danger immediately posed. I'm going pretty psycho-aggressive with the h4, h5, and I talked about not castling queenside. I guess I'll tuck my king on h1 or f1 or g1. h1 is not really an option. Again, as I said, I don't like castling queenside so much. But if I have enough time, maybe it will be good. I'm probably being a little bit too dogmatic about not castling queenside. Okay, f5. Another move that kind of surprised me. He just doesn't want h7 to come under direct attack. He opens up his bishop on g7. The advantage of castling queenside is that I would connect my rooks. Alright, let's do it. I said I wasn't going to do this at first, but I think I can handle the counter threats and unite my rooks. Okay, we're just taking things on d5. There's almost a mate here. Do we have a rook sacrifice on h7? I have to play king b1. Alright, so rook takes h7 and then rook h1 check, king g6, knight h4 check. His king actually walks out to f6 in those lines. But I guess I can just play rook h1 now. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking forever, and it's like, this is a forced mate. I didn't know the slow move would work. I thought I had to do a rook sack on h7. I'm interested in this opening Resignanian because we do play it for both sides. So his f6 has actually got a better score than bishop e7. I thought queen b6 was a move. There's only one game. Huh. But it is apparently playable. No, queen a5 has been played in 4 games, twice by Swapnil, one 2017 game. Pretty much everybody plays bishop e7. Alright. But there are 12 games with f6. Bishop d2. Okay, so the majority of the players play king f7 here. It's obviously slightly risky. One Topalov game against Gashimov from 2010. Oh, I did this and you had knight a5? Oh man, that's stupid. So bishop c4 is just bad and we both missed knight a5. Alright. Well, that changes the whole thing basically. My attack is not that strong. I sort of swindled you with bishop c4. It doesn't even work. Now I have to play knight a5, queen a4 check and just trade pieces on bishop d7. This is nothing for white. This is totally nothing. Alright. So it was just a bluff. Bishop c4 doesn't work. Alright, let's play the challengers who are subscribers next. Nefedov, Arsenal fan. Then I'll play Orbitic. So I bluffed Resignanian there, pretending I know the opening. But I don't know if I really want to play it with white. You know, I would play the Panov sometimes, but if I had to play a tournament game, I'm not sure I really want to play the white side of the Panov. Only maybe through this English move order. If I have to. I might have to. I'd actually like to give up knight f3 and start playing maybe just d4 and e4, but there's so much to learn, theoretically. Knight f3 is pretty harmless. Alright. You can't really play sharp lines with knight f3. That's the problem. Other than transposing to the white side of the Sicilian. Although at the highest levels, there are so many top grandmasters that use knight f3. Just I think they don't want to take risks. Arsenal fan said what? Chess Network is easy to fall asleep to? You dissing him? No, I like Chess Network. Alright. Knight g4. The Borg. Nefedov, new line. Nefedov was playing bishop e2 primarily. And I think that he should try something more aggressive, so. This is Hikaru against me. Circa 1999, 2000. It was like 2000, 2001 even. I don't know when it was. 2000 probably. I had a game with Hikaru. I think I played h6 and g5 in that game. It's actually the best line. It's supposed to be the best line for black. But I've also played this line for white in a game where I annihilated Yermolinsky. That was one of my best games ever, at least aesthetically. Caught him sleeping tactically. When I played Hikaru, he was young, and he played this line, and he didn't like his position, so he offered a draw. I think he was only slightly higher rated than me at the time. He wasn't the GM yet, but he was already higher rated than me. He just, no, we agreed to a draw after like 20 moves. White wasn't happy with his position. I think this exact line. Later I did lose to Hikaru in 2003. I'm not 100% happy with this line for black, to be honest. I've played Queen B6 a lot. But this leads to like a slightly worse endgame by force if you play Queen B6. So it's not really a great choice, I guess, against, well, maybe if I want to hold a draw against a strong player. But playing for a win, I think I have to do H6 and G5. No, I'm not remembering every move. You know, I mean, I've probably played like 3,000 tournament games. I mean, how could you possibly remember all your games unless you were some kind of Rain Man? All right. This is bad, though. Exchanging on C6. You cannot do that. So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess I had this position with white against Yermo, and I played knight b3. There really is no other move here. You have to play knight b3. And against Hikaru, I think I ripped the knight on c3, but I'm having trouble remembering now. I might have actually lost to Lenderman in the game where I got food poisoning on move 10. It might have been this variation, too. I had a game with Alex Lenderman when I got food poisoning in the opening and resigned by move like 25. Tried to get my money back from the organizer, but he wouldn't give it back. And then I played the rest of the tournament out of protest and lost like 50 rating points. Shouldn't have done that. That was a bad idea. I like destroyed my USCF rating in one tournament. I literally lost like 65 points and like 50, I don't know, 60 points, like 40 FIDE points. Because I refused to withdraw from the tournament when I should have withdrawn from the tournament. You got to know when it's time to call it quits. I lost to 3 low-rated players, drew another one, and I think I finally beat one guy in the like last round or something with one bye in a 6-round tournament. 1.5 out of 5, all against lower-rated players. It's a good result. All right. Anyways. Guys, I'm going to be back on Sunday with this. I'm trying to do a simul on Sunday, but I'm traveling during the day, so I'm just hoping I get back in time. Normally I do simuls at 6:30 Central European time on Sundays, but I just depending on other people to transport me by car, so if I'm back in time, we should be fine. I'm going to schedule it for 7 p.m. CET on Sunday. 20 players, 30 time control. It usually takes 2.5 hours. But there's a small chance I don't, you know, I get drunk and don't show up. No, I'm just kidding. No, there's a small chance that I'll be late, even to the scheduled time. But hopefully we'll be back by 7 for sure. My microphone audio is about 0.5 ahead of my webcam video. Adjusting the sync in the stream software settings. I'll check it out. That's possible. Yeah, looking at the audio afterwards the other day, I noticed the same thing. I just assumed it was due to like delay or something, but now that you mention it, you're probably right. I will check that out. Thanks for the tip. I watched one of my streams from the other day. Yeah, it looks like you're right. Nefedov, though, taking on c6 not really good in this line. I mean, there's some lines where you can do that, but you got to play knight b3, and I think my game with Yermolinsky was something like knight b3, bishop e6. Yeah, Alex didn't take on c3. There are two lines. Either takes on c3 or not taking on c3. I think I played bishop takes c3 check in the game with Nakamura and maybe with Lenderman too. Well, here Nefedov is just giving me this pawn on b2. It's kind of like a bonus. I don't see how he has compensation for that. Okay, my development isn't great, but okay, Pavel has to get used to playing this line. This is the first time I've seen him play anything outside the classical variation with bishop e2, but you have to really precisely know what you're doing. Queen a5, and I guess white's just busted. He can play knight b1. Only move, right? But he's just down a pawn for nothing. So, alright, dude. Yeah, knight takes c6 is no good. It's knight b3 or nothing. And I don't know what's better, bishop takes c3 or bishop e6. I had to draw against Hikaru, and I lost against Linderman with food poisoning. Not because of the opening. I just didn't feel well. I think I played that against both those guys. Whereas, like, Yermolinsky played bishop e6 against me, and I won with white after queen d2. There's another game where Hikaru was white a little bit later. And there's my game with Yermolinsky. It looks like, yeah, I mean, queen d2 is the main move. Alright. What did I say? I was going to play Arsenal Fan next, because he is a subscriber. And then, Nefedov, well, I mean, you're not used to playing that line yet. You know, it's very specific. Like, you have to know exactly what you have to do. One mistake in your position is messed up. Okay. Arsenal Fan, did you switch to playing d4 completely? Or just against me? I mean, I think it's interesting that you play d4. Basically, I consider you to be a positional player. You don't have to be one or the other, but more on the side of positional than tactical. And ideally, like, as the great Susan Polgar once was quoted as saying, notice the sarcasm, I think that players, strong chess players are strong tactically and positionally. Arsenal Fan actually played this against me, and we played the same variation in a simul the other day. This is kind of an obscure variation that I recommended in a recent video I created on the Blumenfeld Gambit, how to deal with sidelines where white doesn't go into the Blumenfeld. And Arsenal Fan played a very interesting move against me, a3, which I hadn't considered, because I can't consider everything, obviously. But I did have an improvement on our game from the simul last week. Edge of unknown what? Dude, I was just being sarcastic about Susan Polgar. I don't like Susan Polgar. And she's not inspirational. But anyway, if you believe that, that's fine. I'm not gonna like disturb your not gonna disturb your positive feelings. All right, A3 D5. Let's go. No, I'm just joking because once I made a simul here, and every time you create a simul on lichess, there's like a quote under the simul from some famous chess player. And one time I got a Susan Polgar quote, and I was like, I wanted to like erase the simul and like make a new one, but it would have like just taken too long, so I just let it stay there. C takes D5. This is not the move you played before, is it? I thought you played something different. Now wait a minute here. Oh right. Wait a minute. This was my analysis. I think no. Maybe it's different. Shit. Just trying to think, was I thinking of B4? That doesn't make sense. B4, I would play Bishop E7, I guess. Yeah, this had to be what I looked at. Come to think of it. I don't know what I'm thinking so long about here. So that's the point. Saucy sausage. Oh, Zaslow. Zaslow. You know, Zaslow is actually flag in Hungarian, as opposed to Laszlo. Zaslow. Zaslow is inspirational. I don't actually know Zaslow. Zaslow is you know, he's kind of hit or miss. Some people like him and some people don't. All right. I've never met Zaslow. He's not out and about in the Hungarian chess scene. Bishop G5 now. This feels like it will just like transpose to some kind of normal line, but wait a minute. Well, E5 is probably knight F3. That's weird. That's complicated. E5, knight F3, E4. That doesn't work. Huh. I guess I should just take back on D5. This would probably transpose to some kind of known variation of the semi-Slav that I don't really know. No, the Zaslow is the word flag. Laszlo Polgar is the father of the Polgar sisters. Bishop takes F6. He doesn't seem interested in that. This looks like a decent position for white. the move a3 you would think would be like time consuming, you know, but I guess it's not a big deal. Seems like a relevant tempo in an open position, but I guess white can afford to waste a tempo. With the extra tempo in the opening. Bishop b5 is a little bit Rubinstein style, huh? All right. Oh, you've got knight a4 there? Hey, what am I thinking now anyway? Wow, knight, bishop b5. What a move. That's seriously incisive, Rich. He doesn't know any opening theory, but he's quite creative. I'm actually going to back off here and break the pin now. Because there's no other way to get out of this. No good way. To get out of this annoying pin. Bishop b5, interesting. Reminding me of Rubinstein versus Schlechter in a famous ending. Not necessary to play a6, I guess. This move looks fine. The Illuminati. All right. Mason. The Masons. I could have been a Mason. My father was in the Freemasons. He never ever talked about it. He wasn't really that into it, though. He didn't go to all the meetings after a while and stuff like that. So I don't know any of the mysteries of the Freemasons. But we are big fans of Ancient Aliens here. I often make fun of Ancient Alien conspiracy theories here on the stream. Rook e1. Wonder if knight c5, like, I'm getting tempted into going here, but does the move actually contribute very much to black's position? That's the real question. Let's develop a piece instead. Keep up with the chat, please. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Gladys Troll, you brush all your teeth, not only one tooth. Alright. Did I miss something important to me? May anyone explain to me why the word is toothpaste, not teeth paste? Troll. What did I miss that was so important in the chat? Alright. The toothpaste question? That's important. We have very little time for reflection on that, you know, with 2 minutes here. Man, he's so solid, if you think about it. The Arsenal fan. Generally speaking, in this kind of structure, I'm not that comfortable. I don't play very many openings where I get an isolated pawn. I understand the underlying principles, but I'm not that used to it. You know, none of my openings really leave me with isolated pawn positions. I don't play the black side of the French. I don't play the Tarrasch normally. All right, well, I think we're just going to develop our pieces sensibly here. Finally, I can move my queen. Whoa. All right, I'm going home. Going home and be safe. I like how Troll is telling me to watch the chat. This is the guy who loses on time every game when I have like 2 minutes left. Or critical time situation. And you're telling me to watch the chat. All right, I don't know where to go. Queen a7 or c7. Even d8 is kind of passive. Oh, this looks wrong. All right, I don't know. But Rich is playing like a positional master. Hard to believe my score is so good against him. Okay. I don't really want to weaken my structure with b5 so much, to be honest. He's trying to focus on my d5 pawn, I guess. But he's taking pressure off of a7, h7 there a little bit. Ha7. It's always okay to take that bishop on e6. It's almost always okay to make this capture, I think. It gives me a little bit of play along the f file, but... Okay. Just I want to caution anybody not to click on like weird links in the chat stream. The chat stream. If you guys want to post something in the stream, I'd prefer that you like ask me first. If you want to like post links, it's okay. Bishop d6. Looks like we're okay now. Queen b8 and pressure on the white position with the threat of knight e4. The worst of the damage is behind us. Oh. We're still not winning. Well, we've got g5. I hate playing g5. I have a really bad result with that move. This year particularly. I guess I have b5 winning the exchange or some pawn or something. Maybe that's safer. Really rather not like wreck my king side with g5. This is kind of minimalistic though. Maybe I should have. But here I win the exchange. He could have played knight c5 and that just loses a pawn. So that's probably his best bet. Alright, we need to defend. Watch for tactics. No, he missed this. Okay, I mean, the opening was better for white. How many... We have a lot of viewers now. Like, I don't like the new Twitch, what they've done to it. I can never, like, tell how many people are watching the stream till after I refresh my stream. Then they log me out. What the hell is going on? Dude. Okay. They need better programmers at Twitch. You'd think with all the money they're making, they would have the best. But there's a lot of bugs. So this is my weird preparation here. Damn it. Like forcing me to watch some video when I'm trying to stream. Alright, so Friday's usually a good day for the stream here though. This is my recommendation. Not too many games in this position. And last time Arsenal fan played, I think, a e3 against me. And this time we have CD. I can just take back. I decided to play this interesting move, castles. This is totally new position. I mean, there's no games in this position. If he plays knight b3, I don't know. It's like a queen's gambit accepted with colors reversed. I'm sacking a pawn long term. If like pawn takes pawn, queen takes d1 check, knight takes. I feel I have compensation here. You know, this is actually a totally new idea that I made up myself basically. I mean, there's only one game, but his idea obviously bishop g5 looks pretty good. Probably best move, Rich. You have to play like bishop g5. I mean, e3 is possible, but it's kind of passive. In our other game, I think he played b4, which, well, that wouldn't make sense with bishop g5, obviously. So I think this is good. You're slightly better. This was an interesting move, bishop b5, too. And I think White got the better of the opening here. Rook e1, maybe not the best. But still you stand better structurally. So there's a lot of potential here for White's variations. I said I was going to play Orbitich, and then we'll take Ayeste because he is a subscriber. Orbitich is not a subscriber, but he is kind of master strength, so I don't mind throwing in these master challenges. Susan Polgar programs for Twitch. No, we'd be watching like we'd be watching one of her chess camps right now if that was the case. All right, c4. I just don't like her quotes, you know, her supposed quotes that lichess puts in my simuls. All right, Orbitich played the other day. He played g4, e5, c4 against me, and I spaced, thinking he had played bishop g2. I'm getting a little bit tired of playing knight f3. I think I'm going to have to switch back to playing d4 more, like as my main opening with White. Arsenal fan. I mean, it's basically a semi-Tarrasch, and I think in the kind of semi-Tarrasch positions, a3 is always going to be a useful move. It's perfectly playable. I'm wondering what else you can do there. I mean, I don't think that a3 is better or worse than the other like two good moves White can probably play in that position, but it's perfectly reasonable in a lot of lines, like in the Tarrasch and the Queen's Gambit declined. It's a useful move. Many openings, perfectly viable. But this is a new pseudo gambit that I played there. I guess it really is a gambit if you do that queen exchange variation where I'm down a pawn but you have no development. So e5 from Orbitich with his knight on f6. It's a little weird. It's kind of a weird setup here for black. Excuse me. I'm White. He's black. You could probably try e3 in this position. Not my favorite approach. It's basically like a weird kind of closed Sicilian with colors reversed, where they do like c4 after e4. It's a Larsen Bent Larson thing. Closed Sicilian with c4, e5. It's a bit of a weird setup for black, but it's okay. I guess there's nothing really wrong with it. Probably I should try to be more aggressive here after e5 and do the e3. It's kind of strange to play e3 with my knight on f3, though. I had this weird feeling of the deja vu, like I've seen this somewhere recently. Something along these lines. Okay, so our subscribers we try to respect, and I'm going to play Ayesta next. Then maybe we'll have time for a couple other non-subscribers. Who's the hottest female chess master? I guess that I'm too old now. I mean, I'm kind of out of the scene. I mean, I know some, but I took a long time off, you know, from playing regularly. Like, I basically didn't play chess between 2009 and 2015, almost at all, except for like 9-10 games a year in the Hungarian Team Championship when I was playing poker full time. So I'm actually not that well versed on, like, you know, all the younger players out there. You know, obviously women's masters, I don't know, like, you know, that many players anymore. I'm getting back into the game, though. In the last year, I played almost, well, by the end of the year, I'll have played almost 50 games. So, I mean, you got to take this into consideration, that I really was inactive, almost completely inactive, between 2010 and 2015. Just the Hungarian Team Championship, less than 11 games a year. I really missed a lot. So when you ask me, like, who's the hottest chess player, I don't know a lot of people now. I'm more of an expert on old people, you know. I played Tanya Sakdev. That was back in like 2008, I don't know, 2007. Just before my retirement. What brought me back to chess? Well, I never completely gave up chess. It's just that I was totally focused on poker for like 7 years. I would play chess like for the team championship and also blitz online and stuff, and follow a little bit of chess news, but so I wasn't completely in a cave or something. This is pretty typical for this kind of weird clothesline. I'm playing it pretty tight to the vest here. Tight to the vest? Close to the vest. I feel like a Eastern European now. I'm even getting like American sayings wrong. I've been living here so long. Playing it pretty tight to the vest. It's like I sound like a Russian troll. No offense, troll. Alright. But yeah, there's so many chess players, I don't even know who they are. I mean, outside of the top, the world class players, I mean. And players are getting stronger and stronger. B5, good move. Just think like Anish Giri. The minimalistic approach. Doesn't take much. Really solid play by Orbitich, though. Alright. Just keep taking toward the center. He can take toward the center. I mean, I thought about giving up my pawn on c4, but I mean, it abandons control of d5. It gives him the a file. There are several reasons why I don't really like taking on b5 here. There's obviously a pin, but I don't see anything he can do about that. Alexander Kosteniuk. Okay, I mean, yeah, Kosteniuk is hot, but she's old news, right? A little too self-promoting for me. Not really into people who are obsessed with self-promotion. Not my yeah, everyone has to promote themselves a little bit, but when it becomes like a full-time occupation, I think I cease to like that kind of people. Even if they're physically beautiful or whatever. All right. I mean, I know I'm beautiful, but I'm not overtly promoting myself constantly. Yeah, my rook is probably not in the right place anymore. Let's keep him off of d4. One of the things I was thinking was that this pawn was going to need protection. So, and anyway, getting my rook off the b file, it's relieved of duty of defending b4 by the bishop on d2. We're kind of on schedule, I hope. I was thinking rook c1. Unfortunately, all right. This is very tactical actually now. Getting a little bit tactical. f5, whoa. That wasn't on the radar at all. We've got a major assault. I'm expecting him to play d5, and he comes with the f5. Reasonable move. Pretty committal, but okay, fair enough. Alright, what are we going to do? He's got a very clear plan here. Basically just coming down to a blitz game. Yeah, I'd completely put all my focus on d5. World Series. I never played in the World Series of poker. Very much got into poker like heavily after I moved to Hungary. Wow, 95. He's got everything on that. It's an insane move, dude. Like I might end up losing a pawn, it looks like. What is going on here? Damn. It's crazy, Holmes. I honestly thought you would take on c4 right away. That might have been good. Hopefully this way I can somehow avoid the worst. Knight d3. Well, we have material we can give back, obviously. I don't want to give back the material too easily, though. Damn, dude. This is pretty harsh. He's got massive positional compensation for the sacrificed exchange. Suddenly became kind of, well, I would still consider it to be very positional in nature, but kind of tactical situation. Gotta be careful. It's just a mouse slip, man. I mean, I meant to go to g1. He didn't even play knight takes f2 check. Jeez. He had d4 there. He's hanging his queen. This is a great... Alright, I'm not going to lose on time. The other day in my blitz tournament, I lost on time with 2-second increment left. But Orbitich, let's just skip to the middle game here. You made a great sacrifice in this position. I expected d5 coming, but f5 was very strong. You know, I'm looking all at d5, 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 f5 comes, and then this is a brilliant sacrifice. That's genius. But he had bishop takes c4 here, which is the whole point. I think you're winning a pawn on that line. Let's see. Bishop takes c4. Queen takes c4 check. Then I don't know. You have to take... You don't have to take either way, actually. Let's see. Knight takes c4. Knight takes d7. I was looking at knight takes d2, but he actually has this. And then... I'm just down a pawn, right? Down a pawn with the two bishops, I can probably draw if I play really, really well here, you know. But this was a great sack by Orbitich. I mean, he's just got all kinds of pressure now. But he messed up. I mean, he didn't have to give me this exchange. And still he has absolute compensation. You know, so this was a critical position where I mouse slipped king h1. I didn't see bishop takes e4. It's a nice tactic. But it's totally unclear what's happening here. So nice game, man. The result is decided by time. I'm going to play our subscriber Ayesta next. Yeah, I didn't mean to play king h1. It's like, yeah, I want to like give you the pawn with tempo. All right. Ayesta. I want to not only not defend my pawn, I want to lose it like with check. e4. I haven't played any e4 today. I'm slipping down here under the table. But speaking of beautiful women playing chess, I've been talking about, you know, how I don't really like the time control is getting faster. I mean, another thing is that there's just not enough women in the game. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I went to my last team match. It was like 23 men and 1 woman playing. I was thinking, like, this is ridiculous, you know? Like, more women need to get into chess. It's sort of like insane. Not gonna play it. I'm gonna play d3. Let's see, queen e2. I've been playing this lately. So if there are like women streamers on lichess and stuff, I should support them, and I think everybody should, you know, support more women in the game. It's just it's really not good for the yin and yang for chess to be only men playing the game. I mean, it just feels really wrong. Bishop c5. I don't want to hang out with a whole bunch of guys all the time. I mean, that's not interesting. Alright, bishop c5. What are we doing here? We faced this a few times. c3, right? What was that? Orbitich was said In his head, I'd already traded queens. Yeah. No, that was a great pawn sack. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about f5, but the engine said it was the best move. That was weird. I was like kind of in a state of shock when you played f5, which I shouldn't be because it's a natural advance in the closed Sicilian. But for some reason, I had just completely been so worried about you like advancing your backward pawn that I just totally turned away from f5, and that turned out to be the best move. Pressure on c4 was good. It's a pretty rare line, you know, but actually kind of hard for white to get much. Like the Botvinnik system with the bishop on e7 instead of fianchettoing. Occasionally you see people do that with white. Larson used to play setups like with f4, d3. He would play e4, c5, d3 a lot, and then do f4, bishop e2 type of knight f3. But that's totally different. You're playing a Botvinnik type of pawn formation. c4, e4, d3, bishop e2, knight f3. I think that... Okay, I should focus on the game here. Taking the pawn gives black the initiative. Taking the pawn, taking on c6, and taking the pawn. But pawn is pawn. So he takes with the b pawn. We had a similar game, right? But it was slightly different. So bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, rook e8, d4. You know what? I'm really bored with calculating this. I'll look it up after the game. I think that a6 is pretty rare. You're supposed to play d6. I might be able to take the pawn here. I don't know. You know, the other thing that was pissing me off was like there was some idiot article in, of course, chess.com, which was like on the front page about like, should women's titles be, you know, changed so that, how was it now? Women's titles are, you know, there should be no separate women's titles, you know. I mean, it's absurd, dude. There's already not enough women in chess, and then some idiots have this idea to like do away with women's titles, which just encourage a lot of young people to play chess and stuff like that. There's virtually no downside. Oh no, you're not equal. We're not equal. You've created a secondary set of qualifications for us. I mean, let's get like more than like 3% of people playing chess who are women before we start talking about like doing away with women's titles. I could see if like 25% of like the world's chess players were women, you could start to say, okay, let's have a discussion about equality and making like, you know, no separate titles for women. But until the point where we get to that, like, let's like try to encourage people to play the game, you know, not cry about whether women's titles are degrading or something, you know. There's just like 3% of people that I see playing in tournaments who are women. It's already pretty sad. So let's give those people some encouragement, you know. And I think the titles are a really good way. They're like achievements, you know. They're like in-game, video game achievements or something. A title is something like a trophy. I mean, you can really, it can encourage you. Why take that away from people? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So now it looks like we've transposed to a kind of Worrell attack. It also looks like, yeah, it's a Worrell attack basically. He's playing d6 though. I mean, you can definitely play d5 with black. Maybe that's even like a main move here. Thinking about it, probably not good here because of taking and like something with e4. Not sure. All right. Well, first of all, I can play h3. Then kick him out, and then think about, well, d4 or d3 and knight f1. And so we may transfer over to a whirl attack because of a6 being played and bishop a4. I mean, there's already, like, I'm telling you, like, one woman in 24 players at my last team match. It's insane, you know. And you want to do away with women's titles? Whose dumb idea was that? This is not a discussion, you know. Somebody needs to encourage more women to play chess, period. Not discourage them. Anyway, that's my second rant today. The other one being on time control is getting too fast. By the way, the lichess title tournament, that's cool that they're going to make a title tournament, but not just bullet. You know, why not have blitz? I understand that cheating becomes a discussion when, like, classical and slower time controls are used. I mean, I guess that's the main argument for making just a bullet tournament for title tournaments. Well, there'll be a lot of cheaters. Well, you just have to police it really well. I don't know. Have a 3-minute tournament, I mean, for title players. All right, here comes... I was thinking about, did you guys see how Mamedyarov busted Grishuk at the European Team Championship with g5 in a Steinitz type of line? I guess it just made me think of that. If I'm really a chicken, I can play bishop e3 here, I guess. But what does it even do? Well, I could enforce d4 maybe. Knight d2 looks like the normal move. What would Vladimir Akopian do? You have to ask yourself. Where was Vladimir Akopian at the European Team Championship? Armenia did not score very well. Usually they're a very big threat. Aronian had mostly draws, and without number 2 in the mix, they didn't seem to have very much firepower. Having a cheating allowed tournament, well, that's like legalization of drugs. You know, it may actually, that's very possibly the future of chess. You know, we'll all become cyborgs. I mean, okay. Hopefully we can avoid that, though, somehow. At least slow it down. I mean, that may be the writing on the wall, you know, sadly. But yeah, it's the same argument with legalizing drugs. Knight g3. But I still think they could do 3-minute for a title tournament here on lichess. It's fast enough that all the bullet maniacs would be happy, and slow enough that, like, normal chess players might actually like it. Knight g3. Well, hopefully that will get incorporated. But I'm campaigning for longer time controls, and that goes for tournaments especially. I'm not playing in any 90-minute, 40 moves, 15 minutes final time control. If I see that, like, I'm not going to play. It's got to be at least the 5-hour time control. I have bad enough time pressure as it is with 40 and 90, sudden death 30. I'd rather have 2 hours for the first 40 moves. Well, I guess technically you do with the increments, so it's okay. 40, 90, sort of with a 30-second increment, it's all right. I think we're getting the upper hand here against Ayeste. It's looking like a pretty standard, turning into a pretty standard good whirl attack for white. We got control of f5. We're going to crawl up with, like, the queen here. We start having kingside attacking threats. Tivyakov likes to play the whirl attack, and he also plays the bishop's opening, which is something that's very similar. Michael Adams. Commentate the tournament or something. I can't commentate a bullet tournament. I think I could. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't lower myself to that. I don't play bullet. I might do like, I might be able to commentate 3-minute games. Definitely 5-minute is fine. Taking the bishop on g6 is interesting, but I think I'm gonna try for more. That's selling short. No doubt like an advantage for white, but I feel like we're selling short. If we play knight takes g6, probably good for white. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I had knight takes g6, takes on d5, and bishop b3, actually. That might just even win. Come to think of it. Now we have bishop takes h6, but that probably loses a piece. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Bishop takes h6, g takes h6. Look before you leap. Alright, beware of the 3-second increment. Damn it. I thought I had bishop takes h6 in my back pocket, but I don't because of bishop e7. And his queen is defending his knight on c6. I mean, we're just better here. But it's all become like a race to the clock. Blue black just makes some positional errors. Okay, this is super weird. Did I just... Yeah, I did that. Alright. I could have just won a piece. Instead I blundered. It's pretty intelligent. I didn't want to win a piece. I wanted to, like, blunder instead. Now we have, like, a minuscule advantage. I had just knight takes g6, like winning a piece straight up. Now he's got threats even. Look, come on, no discoveries. Nowhere to go. Man. Is that hanging? I just keep missing stuff here. I'm actually down a pawn now. Sort of crazy. I guess this play with the no time is good. I'm actually not in any danger, despite being down a pawn. Oh. Can I use my bishop somehow? Do you mind? That's a good move too. c6. Damn it. Almost missed that move. Oh my god, he has a defense to this too? Hallucinating I had mate. A little bit of everything. Rook pawns galore. You're kidding me. Eventually it will be Zugzwang. Lots of pawns. Alright, man. I think we made a few blunders there. I could have taken your bishop on g6 and I didn't do it. That's so embarrassing. Man. We had a nice game. What was it after b4? How did this go down? Right here? Wait, I thought I had a piece. No, I was hallucinating. Okay, I never had a piece. I thought my knight came from h4. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's... Ayesta's not that crazy. I never had a way to win a piece. You guys probably told me that. I thought my knight had come from h4 and I didn't play knight takes g6, but it was the other knight that was on h4. Nice defense by Ayesta. So I never really had a clear win or anything like that. I was just better. Alright, well at least like we figured out what really happened. Morales is up. We'll play one more subscriber game and probably one more random challenge. Yeah, I didn't take an endgame because, I mean, I didn't take a draw because I was sitting there thinking like, well, actually, I don't really see how I can lose, you know. If I thought I was slightly worse, I would have taken the draw. But looking at the position, I was kind of like, well, I don't see how this is really possible to lose this. So we'll just try a few more moves. And there was a way to win without weakness on h6. That's why I'm talking about like 40-90 sudden death 15 is stupid. You know, if there's no time to play the endgame, chess becomes, you know, a totally different game. Especially for me. When you play for small advantages, I think the endgame is a very vital part of the game for you. You know, for some other type of styles of players, you know, really hacking players may not rely so much on endgame advantages, but I mean, when you're a type of player who's playing for a small edge, I think the endgame is probably the most important phase of the game. And to have to play the whole phase of that game in 15 minutes is just like ridiculous. Okay, Morales transferring to the King's Indian here. Yugoslav variation, I think they call it. You sound old. I always think of people, you know, and they're like, my perception is totally wrong. Like a lot of the viewers here on lichess will be like, I'll be thinking they're like middle-aged, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm 16. It's not that easy to tell, actually. Queen e2, ace jack. a6. Main line, right? Ah, man, I don't know these lines very well. I've always avoided playing these lines with white. It's so complicated and closed. What's it called? The pano. This is... I don't know, because you can play knight c6 in the Zamish too. And I never know like which is technically called the pano. Well, technically, I think the pano is when you play knight c6 on move 6. Here. Okay, this is like the normal pano. But you can transpose to that when white goes d4, d5, knight a5. It's just a question of when you play the move c5. And I'm not sure about the naming of this line. The c5 and knight c6 might be called the Yugoslav variation. I don't remember. But this is like the starting point for tons of theory that I don't really know, because I played the King's Indian, but I never played this line for black, and I always played pretty much every other possible line against g3, because the theory is kind of massive. Bishop f5, it's a funny move. It looks stupid on the surface, but it's provoking white to weaken the structure. I guess the d4 square in particular, you know, could get weak. And sometimes black even plays, I believe black even plays like e5 in these lines. I saw Alonso Zapata do that once. Knight e8 looks a little bit passive. Or maybe it's theory, I don't know. This maybe it is theory. Knight e8 just looks kind of passive. But as I said, I don't know the line very well. Knight d1. The thing is, if f4, he's ready to play f5 now. So, bishop b2 is a normal move. I guess developing a piece. But I don't think this is an ideal position to play in blitz. I was never winning a piece. I don't know what I was talking about. I was hallucinating. My knight was on h4 last game when I played knight f5, and I thought, oh, I could have taken his bishop on g6. But it was the other knight that was on h4 a couple moves prior. So I was like, oh my god, I could have won a piece. My second big hallucination today. I don't know. I've seen bishop f5, e4, but I thought you're supposed to go like e5 or something after that. This position. Get some space for yourself. I thought that's normally what black does. We'll check after the game. I mean, this doesn't look that unreasonable. He could still do e5. He could do f5. f5 is riskier, but it's playable. f5, you know, and e5, potentially. But I think we're trading off his GB, his BG, the BGs. We're trying to trade off this valuable dark-scarred bishop. Karpovian style. With knight d1. I guess you have to ask like Victor Bologan what's going on in this kind of line. The knight a8 was played. Arsenal fan and Emery Tate's favorite move. Okay, I mean, I don't have to play f4 actually. Maybe it would be better to make a developing move that contributes more to the position and then save the f4. Save the weakening pawn moves for later. That's definitely part of the plan. My only knowledge of this line is like going over some old games from like 20 some years ago. Karpov against Shirov or something from the mid 90s. I mean, I never had the courage to play these lines without really knowing the theory with white. You got to be really knowledgeable. So he plays f6, putting his pawns on the correct color, avoiding stuff like queen c3 check, winning his knight on a5. But it looks like we have pretty good position overall. I'm even thinking about b4 potentially. But it seems like our chances are like in the center, and with breaking with e5, maybe we will have to play El Clasico here. Can we break on the king side with e5, f4? Should I consider queen b3, queen c3, excuse me, queen c3? I kind of like it. Man, he moved instantaneously. But he's holding up e5 and connecting his rooks with that move. So I guess there's some logic to it. Now, I guess we take with the pawn. We want to keep his knight a prisoner. Prisoner. Not the funnest variation for black, but I think for white as well. It's like purely strategy, very closed structure. Just never appealed to me for either side. The knight e8 was the knight g8. But I do have a bad bishop blocked by my own pawns, and I'm not exactly like checkmating black here, so breakthrough is not so easy. Can I get an e5? No, he'll trade queens. I wonder about, I think I have time for one more game after this, guys, by the way. Well, I think we should just incrementally try to improve the position. He played rook b7. I should probably take. We've got to be prepared to play an endgame. With just a tiny edge. Bad bishop can be corrected. I mean, we might be able to play h4, bishop h3 at some point. Actually, a bad bishop when you have a lot of space isn't so bad. Unfortunately, all right, let's think here for a moment. Do I really have to trade queens? Yeah. It kind of looks like that way. Queen d3. Not that down with. But this is a pleasant endgame for me. You can't really do anything. e5 is even interesting. Right, first of all, putting my pawns in the right color and potentially making way for bishop h3. Maybe I can even do king h2, bishop h3, trading off his good bishop. Got a slight edge. It's hard for him to pose the b file. If he does something like rook c8, rook c7, maybe I can play like rook b8. Making life pretty tough for black. He'd have to play rook a7 there. On the other hand, it would make sense to centralize my king. Feels like trading pieces is wrong somehow. Alright, I'm going to go here to keep an eye on his h5 pawn and maybe threaten f5 at some point. It looks like the play is actually on the king side. Maybe rook g1 and f5. King just chilling in the center. I probably missed something good. I might have e5. There's that plan that I was talking about a minute ago. He wants to play like rook c7. But I have rook b8 there. g5 doesn't really do anything. I don't know why I want my king on c3. For some reason, it just clears this square. Oh, you have that. All right. Let's repeat once and then decide what to do. E5 break, F5 break. I mean, his h5 pawn looks so weak. Maybe I Just ignore his rook. His rook is pretty active. Whoa. Good night, bad night. This has got to be winning. Yeah. His only counterplay against c4 is too slow. Hit the target and bounce back. Knight endgame. Okay, it's still not so easy to win. Win by force. Maybe we can just queen this pawn. Whoa. Oh, he's gonna attack me again, huh? Alright. What's up? That's weird. Right. I can't go to b3, but I can go. So it's like I won a tempo. It takes him 3 moves to do what I do in 2 moves. We could just make progress on the other side. It's a triangulation. Check. Here. Now we go back. Now we need to find a way to make progress. Oh, okay. Is this good? This looks familiar. Now it's getting terminal. All right, last game, guys, for today. King Chaser, 7+3. All right, I'll be back on Sunday, hopefully, with the simul at 7 p.m. rather than the standard 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Got a long trip to Miskolc. 2 hours by car. Then I've got to play a game and come back. Grind out a couple of rating points, hopefully. How can you be before him if he's ahead of you on the list? All right. To be honest, King Chaser didn't get to play like the last couple times as well. He's always last. So he's been the bubble the last couple of times, but he was first according to the list there, which is usually right. I mean, if somebody gets disconnected, it usually puts them back in place. So I'm sorry. No tears. It's not by rating. It used to be a problem, but they corrected it. You know, it used to come back kind of randomly, or people that got disconnected wouldn't be put back in line, but it usually keeps them pretty much the way they should be, the challenges, that is. All right, King Chaser. Anyway, last game, guys, got to go. Some interesting games I want to look at from today. There's Bishop E7. It's funny, like, if e3 black might be able to play d5. I think I looked at that not that long ago. d5, pawn takes pawn. We could end up with a game pretty much like that other game, except with no c5, just d6 and bishop e7. That looks pretty lame for black, though. I guess knight f3 is interesting. Knight f3. I prefer to play in setups with e3, but here again, okay, it would have been kind of interesting to see if he goes d5. Gambit continuation, playable for black, most likely, after e3. I don't remember if we had this before with somebody, but it looks awful familiar. Actually, there might have been a recent game. Was it you, Soltigo? Played something like this against me? Slightly passive for black. White should have a slight edge here without any questions. But he does achieve some simplification. But I think that most GMs would be quite content with white's position. Strategically, I have pressure like down the d file. Black doesn't really have any compensation for this. Rook e8. And I'm happy with the opening. It looks like a Fianchetto King's Indian after something like bishop f8, where he's just like a tempo behind. White has control of the center. But in general, King Chaser is a good defender. He's hung tough against me in a lot of games. Electric pawn. This is a brand new account, so I probably wouldn't play you anyway. Bambix, we had played once before, that has 100 games. I really would like people to have like 100 games if they challenge me. So you're not just creating this account today to troll me. You have a little bit of let's say meaning to the account, not a disposable account you created just for the day. I used to ask people to have 50 games, but I think 100 is more realistic. So c6, 100 games to challenge. No, not bullet games. You can play 100 bullet games in a few hours, I guess. Castle c6. He wants to play d5 in one move, possibly. So things like h3 would make that possible. Rook d1. Bishop f4. That's got to be a good move. Just pressurizing like d6. It's always a funny square. It's not actually attacking anything. It's like attacking the air. But I think here it might be good. Black does have queen b6. Queen b6. Trying to trade queens. I might just play queen d2 back in that instance, not to simplify, but I could also try something weird like taking. Yeah, I mean, okay. Queen b6, queen takes b6, a takes b6. You would get some play along the a file. Perhaps some counterplay for black, which I don't really want to allow, any kind of counterplay. And plus queen b6, queen d2, it just avoids exchanges of pieces, which is something else I don't really want to allow. But there's some weird features of this position. I'm looking at a line, yes, queen b6. Let's say Bishop b4, a3, bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, rook takes e2. I was thinking about sacking that pawn just like long term. Bishop e5 there. Yeah, he goes right for it. He's basically threatening to play d5. Free his whole position. Maybe bishop g5, then knight e4. So he's actually got that threat too of knight e4, and that's really irritating. He's cast out on playing queen d2. I think I could have tried something like a different square. King Chaser, how does he always know to be like the last person in line? It's weird. A3, I didn't see knight e4, which is making me have second thoughts about this. The opposite colored bishop position might be a little bit better for white, but it's not so clear. Damn. That sucks. I put my queen on the wrong square. I guess I couldn't sack the pawn on b2. He's just going to take it. I mean, I don't have a way to trap his queen or anything. It's weird. Suddenly black has a good position. Just like that. I don't know, man. Alright. I'm gonna change focus here. This is a possibly bad move too. I don't know what I should do there. Bishop f4, I guess, was a mistake. It was better to just play like bishop e3. And then on d6 play h3. So I guess this was my mistake, playing queen bishop f4 in the first place. To move my queen again, wasted a tempo. Now it's like I'm black, where I wasted a move. Black is okay. Of course it's totally best moves. I mean, since bishop f4, queen b6 is the best move, bishop b4 is the best move, queen a5 is the best move. Bang, bang, bang. You know, it's absolutely sure. I'm certain. Yeah, Arsenal fan. I like bishop b5 earlier, but here I have a choice. Not to trade queens, I think I prefer in this situation. Now I'm not sure. I was looking at bishop d4. It's obviously a strong square for the bishop. He doesn't have b5, so it seems like black has enough now to justify his opening, which wasn't really 100% accurate. But bishop f4, one mistake and I lost my advantage. It's possible that white still has something. I mean, I have a central majority and the two bishops. This was my plan, for better or for worse. What is that? He just blundered. Kind of uncharacteristic blunder, though. Taking on f6 is definitely not good. I want to take this guy. Now a7 is hanging. I want to keep everything protected. So he basically dropped a pawn. Anyways, still not easy to win when your pawn extra is on the king side, like in this case. Maybe I should have taken on f6 there at that point, or at some point in the near future, messing up his king side structure. We're up a pawn, but our a5 pawn is a little bit extended. And he's got me pinned down. Still. How about rook b1? If I want to lose that pawn, and even the bishop ending is interesting. I don't want to lose my a pawn. Oh, I see he's got a defense there. Bishop takes e1. Huh. I guess I have to defend this. Time consuming. He's on my a pawn now. Wow, he's getting very active. And I can't trade off his rook. Rook e5 was a star move. Looks like black has enough compensation now. For the sacrificed pawn. Feels like he sacrificed it on purpose. Now he doesn't attack my a5 pawn. That's kind of important. It's like I never have any threats. Alright, I don't think he should trade rooks there. I mean, it may still be a draw. But he's making some small inaccuracies. How about my king? That's not important. He's got my king kind of blocked in. I could create an outside pawn on the king side with g4 at some point. Last game for today, guys. I don't know. This is very complicated. He has a strong outside passed pawn, but I'm up 2. I'm not up 2. I'm only up 1. Never mind. I'm up 2 if I win this. His outside pawn is pretty dangerous. What am I doing after that? He's playing f6, duh. He's a little paralyzed. And I'm threatening bishop e2. right? But I think this is a winning position for me now. We should be able to create 2 connected pass pawns. Yeah, he dropped his B pawn. Alright. That's it. King Chaser with very good drawing chances there at some point. Alright guys, I'm going to close it down. I'll be back on Sunday, hopefully, if I don't get lost on the way back from Miskolc. Sunday simul, 7 p.m. CET, tentatively, with 30-30 time control simul for 20 players. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank Soltigo for being a moderator. I don't know if he's still here or not. I haven't seen him in a while. And thank you guys for subscribing to the stream. Have a great weekend, and I will see you Sunday. Good games today. Bye-bye.